Okay, so we have a new series called Airport to the Alpine. And first and foremost, hello from Denver. It's 100,000 degrees.
Actually, it's close.
It's getting there. It's getting there. It's really warm really early this year, so it's going to be a fast snow melt.
Yeah, it will be a fast snow melt, and
deal with it. Segments 1, 2, 3,
4 and 5.
4, 5. Yeah, they're going to be warm. So if you're starting soon, it's going to be hot. So watch the weather. You never know what's going to happen.
Six will feel better, but it will
Yeah.
melt too. It has snow.
Well, there's still snow above 10.5. We've seen a lot of trail reports, and everything above 10.5, people are still post-holing. So be wary of that until July. It's coming. But anyway, this series, Airport to the Alpine, is going to deal with getting to Denver via the airport and being able to get to any trailhead almost in Colorado that has some type of public transportation. We're doing a lot of groundwork here, a lot of research here, and a lot of this stuff we already know about. That you can literally fly into Denver on an airplane and be on a trailhead within several hours, depending on how far you have to go, and you don't have to get a rental car. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of free services out there. There's some services that are pay services, but they're not really that expensive. There are some expensive places you can fly into, say, Gunnison. You can fly into Gunnison. There's a couple of airlines that serve that airport. And even some of the smaller airports, and of course we know the ski towns have service, but those are all going to be expensive. We want to focus on less expensive. I'm tired of seeing $100 go into my gas tank, I don't want to drive, so let's let the airline fee to Denver be your highest expense and see if we can drive the price down from there and get people to the trailhead. This first series we're going to focus on the Colorado Trail because that's up and coming. So right now we're looking at segments 1 through 5, and on the next one we'll probably deal with, say, 5 to 10, something like that. But after we're done with the Colorado Trail, we're going to look at all kinds of different places you can hike in Colorado, some of our favorites for sure. And we'll see how this goes. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, send us an email or contact us in the comments. Should be fun. Should be good. We'll get you on the trail. There are a lot of options here in Colorado. First and foremost, you're going to fly into an airport. But equally, for people that live here in Colorado, these are also viable options. They really are. We've looked at several of them. And like we said, after you've filled up your gas tank lately, you're like, maybe we should start looking into some of these options. A little more time consuming, a little more creative, but that's part of the adventure. It's all part of having fun and getting out there and just being more responsible with your gas.
Yeah. Well,
less impact on the environment, I guess, but
there have been people, I'm on Facebook, you're not.
I'm not.
So I'm on the CT groups as well as some other hiking in Colorado groups, and especially people that move here new that want to hike.
Yeah.
A question is, how do I get to the trailhead? Is there a way, an alternate besides my car?
Yeah.
Are there any buses, or is there any way? Are there groups? I mean, so people look at various ways to get up into the mountains without having to drive.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, it is kind of. I don't know. I mean, you're kind of like scared of it, You're like, well, you're flying somewhere new. How do I get there? And that's hard enough.
Right.
But, a lot of people are kind of like, I don't know about driving in the mountains.
And some will say as well, because the trailheads can be pretty busy.
Yeah.
And I find that to get up there, there's nowhere to park. Is there no alternate, or is there a service?
Some of these roads are kind of rough.
Yes.
Is the vehicle I have, is it capable?
That's asked a lot as well, right?
But, so these options can get you there, and
yeah.
I think it'll work for a lot of people. I think it would be good for us to even try. But
yeah.
There's a lot of options here. From the airport, you're going to have the train that goes to downtown. And then from the airport, you can also take several buses. They have parking rides all over the metro area, but we're kind of focused on the west, more like southwest area for the Colorado Trail anyway. You have what do they call that? Their airport service, and then of course the train that goes to Union Station downtown. So those are the two main ways to get out of the airport besides getting a CT shuttler.
Right.
And I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
Miller tends to study this more than I do. And for the CT, he did.
I like the details.
He likes the details. I thought about details. She's an INTJ along with you. So that's where some of that comes from. But when we were doing the CT, I decided to call all the shuttlers. I decided to learn about that. He didn't.
I don't want to talk to him. I just want to know how to do it.
Right. So I contacted a huge group of people. The big thing to keep in mind with shuttlers is that these are people that have lives, that work jobs, that have families and responsibilities. So
busy, active lifestyles.
Many of them are hikers. So contact them way in advance, because you might find, as we did, some were on vacation one week when I planned to be at a stop, and they were going to be hiking. They said, "I'm sorry, I'm not available," but you can find out people's tentative schedules.
I know the one guy, he was busy working, so his hours were limited, and he never knew if he was going to be available.
Well, there was the one, and he said, these are the times, can you work with it? So we,
you work with it.
Right, so we called in advance, way in advance, and then I had everything in my phone, and I would call a few days out when I get a signal, hey, we're looking to be at this place at this time, does this work for you?
Right.
And people appreciate that. Something else that I would say, too, it's important, some ask for money up front. Understandably, gas is expensive.
Nowadays, I just...
Automatically,
I mean, we did every time. We offered, but not everybody would take it.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you just kind of put it in their hand and said, too bad, you're taking it anyway.
Right.
You know, a donation with the gas prices being so high, and of course these people are very busy. I mean, they love doing this. They love the Colorado Trail. They love to help out, but gas prices are high. You know, give them some gas money, because this is a lot to be asking right now for these people to continue to volunteer like this.
And I think it's the one thing that's so important is don't call someone 5 minutes. Oh, by the way, can you pick me up in an hour?
No.
These are people that are really busy, and
I think the way you did it is you had all these contacts.
I had contacts
in the phone, and you talked to some of them already.
I talked to them all, actually, and they had my number and name, so that if I called, they said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I talked to you."
So when we would get a signal and kind of look at our time frame, where are we going to be, and we'd start to get real close. We'd give them a day out advance, knowing, in a day, we know that time frame now. So
I even had the Durango lined up, and I was thinking, oh, that's so far out.
It's so far out.
Are we going to hit it? And she was
worked.
wonderful. She said, I'm available all week. So I contacted her a couple days out, and she said, no, actually, we were probably about 4 days out. And she said, oh, I'm planning to be there around noon.
Cool.
So it was great. So,
and then beyond the CT shuttlers, there's a lot of bus services. There's private services, and of course the shuttlers themselves. A lot of these places, like the bus services, especially like the free bus service around the Frisco Breckenridge area, all of these companies have apps that you can get on your phone. They have the timetables. A lot of them show actively where is the bus right now, which is really cool. But to have that with you in your phone downloaded already, so you can see the times, you can kind of plan, hey, look, we're going to be at the trailhead within an hour, there's going to be a bus at this time, that's going to be perfect.
Right.
But even some of them, like the RTD here in Denver, the public transportation, you can make all your purchases on the phone itself.
Right.
And then you don't have to go anywhere. You just show the driver the picture of your ticket, or sometimes it's like a barcode that you scan, but it's all right here in the comfort of your hand. You just keep it with you, and that's a great tool to have all these apps downloaded before you get out there, so there's no questions. When you get ready to need a ride, you've got everything you need in the palm of your hand.
And we did, between the two of us. I had the shuttlers, and you had all the all that.
That's just, there's so many options, and we're going to try to detail some of these. We did put a post on our blog, madhippieslife.com. So if you want to go there, we link to a lot of these different companies and the apps and all that, and show the prices and whatnot. So you might want to check that out as well. And we'll put some links. at the bottom in the comments section of this video too as well. So hopefully everybody can, you know, have those tools they need and get out there and just have a really good seamless experience and enjoy getting on the trail easier and hopefully less on your wallet.
And it's knowing your options up front. For me, that was important to know all of my options. I have to know.
You gotta have a plan.
I have a plan.
Okay, so you fly into Denver. You're flying into 3 different concourses, A, B, or C, and that's it. When you get off the plane, you're going to want to either head to a train if you're on the B or C concourses, and in the A concourse you can also use the train, but there's also a pedestrian bridge that will get you to the main terminal and baggage claim like the train will. If you're on the A concourse, I kind of recommend going for the pedestrian bridge because the trains are super busy and super packed, especially in the summertime. They've already picked up all the people from the C concourse and the B concourse. By the time it gets to the A concourse, they're just really full a lot of times. So if you're on the A concourse, take the pedestrian bridge. That's just a little tip from us because it's really busy. But once you do get to the main terminal and baggage claim, it's really easy. You get your gear at the claim area, and then you're going to want to head to the train platform, which it's really easy to find. It's the south side of the building, and you'll know you're on the south side of the building. You're going to go out these big giant, the whole wall is glass, but you're going to see a giant American flag hanging from the ceiling. You're going to be around the security area. It's really busy, but you know, just go through the glass, and as soon as you get out there, you're going to be on this big pavilion area, which is kind of cool. There's a hotel out there. There's places to sit and relax if you're just waiting on somebody else to fly in, so it's kind of a nice place to chill out for a while. But from there, you go down the escalators, and when you get to the bottom of the escalators, you're going to see the train platform right in front of you. That's the A-Line train that will take you downtown to Union Station. If you want to do the opposite and take the bus, and that's a great option in our opinion, you take a left and kind of go behind the escalators, and you'll see where all the buses are. For the Colorado Trail, you're really going to be looking for one bus. It's called the AT. It runs every hour, I think on the 15s. Sometimes there's extra ones during really peak times, but they're really nice big coach buses. You can put all your gear underneath, and they do have bike racks on the front, so you can definitely take your bike. Same with the train, you can take your bike on the train if you're bike packing, but lots of room on all these services. It does cost $10.50, about $11, and that will get you all the way through, or any transfers you might need. But if you take the A-Line to Union Station, you'll get off the train there, and you're going to want to go through, it's like a 2-walk block to make a transfer to a light rail station where you want to pick up the D-Line. It's a smaller train, but it will take you south to the Littleton Mineral Station, which is as far as you can go. And from there, you're going to need to find an Uber. I guess you could call a taxi, or definitely a Colorado Trail shuttler. If you take the AT, it goes 2 stops. You'll get to 9 Mile Station first, which is fine. You can do that, and you can call for a ride from there. But we recommend going to the second stop, which is the Arapahoe Center Station, or Arapahoe Village Center Station,
Yeah.
something. It's Arapahoe.
Yeah. It's Arapahoe Village, yeah.
And there is an REI within walking distance of that park and ride, which is really nice. And most shuttlers that are on the south side of town know exactly where this is. That's a really great option. It's a less crowded option. It's just more relaxing because you go downtown, it's really busy, there's people everywhere, there's all kinds of stuff going on, it's loud. You know, you're about to go on the Colorado Trail, you're probably looking for some peace and relaxation. So I mean, by all means, the A-Line does work. It's just more to it. It's just really loud, and it's a downtown area. It's very congested. There's a lot of people There isn't REI there. It's a little further than the Arapahoe station, still walking distance. But again, just very busy. It's downtown, it's loud, but both options work really great. But you can get a ride from either one of those, Arapahoe Station or the Littleton Mineral Station. They're not hard to do. I know it sounds kind of like, how do I do this? You know, I've never been to Denver and I'm riding on all these public transportations, but it really is simple. You know, like I said, you on your phone, you pay for your ticket on your phone, you have everything on your phone. They will ask you on the train, you know, where's your ticket? You just show them your phone. If you get on the bus, the driver's going to ask you, show them your phone. You know, it's simple. It's really easy to do. You don't have to go look for a kiosk, although there are kiosks everywhere. But it's just easy. And it takes the driving out of it, and it takes the worry of where do I go out of it.
And I would reiterate, and I've said before, but to be sure to call shuttlers in advance before you even come to Denver and say, hey, this is my itinerary, this is when I'm going to be there, this is my, you know, that way you can probably line that up easily.
And who knows, the shuttlers will pick you up at the airport.
And that's true,
you know,
yes.
They might say, hey, I'll pick you up at the airport and take you straight to the trailhead.
Or to a hostel.
With a hostel stop or an REI stop, whatever.
Yeah, so might.
So, yeah, all of these options, certainly, but like you said, call ahead. Plan, let them know you're coming, let them know your itinerary so they can schedule you into their schedule.
Right, yeah.
Which is really important. So those are the two easiest ways to get on the southwest side of Denver to set yourself up for a ride to the trailhead. And we're talking segment 1 traditional at Waterton Canyon. There are other places you can start, the alternates, which would be Roxborough State Park and Indian Creek Trailhead. Both of those are a little further away, so keep that in mind that, you know, am I going to be able to find somebody that can take me there? I mean, there's shuttlers that are available, and they do that. But just keep in mind, I mean, this is kind of a different year.
Yeah,
it really is. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, so you know, do all your homework and your phone calls and your planning before you get here, and have that ride set up and ready to go, and you know that'll work a lot better for you. You know, and all of these places, you know, if you go to the Arapahoe stop, or if you go downtown to the Union Station, and or if you continue on to Littleton, there are hostels and stores and, you know, hotels, and, you know, there's a lot of availability. You're still within the Denver metro area, so there's so much available to you. But, you know, that's the simplistic part of, you know, you flew into Denver International Airport, and you're just trying to get to segment 1 of the Colorado Trail. From here, there are also options if you're flying into Denver, and or if you live here and you want to skip segment 1. You want to go to segment 2, 3, 4, or 5. There are options. It's a beautiful thing. You're probably going to skip the Arapahoe Station at this point and go straight to Union Station, and from Union Station, you know, you're talking about using what they call the Bustang. Again, it's a nice over-the-road Greyhound-sized bus, and they're also recently just started up a new service called Pegasus, which is also run by the same company. It's a smaller coach-style bus, equally nice, and these all take bikes and your gear, so no big deal there. They don't allow dogs, so that's not going to happen. If you have a dog and you're traveling with a dog, the best thing to do is just get a hold of a CT shuttler right away, or even an Uber service, because a lot of the public transportation doesn't allow for dogs. But you know, if you get to Denver International Airport, go through the process, get down to the train station, take the train downtown, to Union Station, and you're going to be looking for the RTD bus, CV, I believe it's called. You're going to be going to Conifer and Aspen Park. And I think that runs from the Denver Civic Center. So what you're going to want to do there is take the A line from the airport to downtown, and then there's a free mall ride bus that runs in between Union Station and the Civic Center. It takes about 10 minutes tops. You just get on the bus. It's a free ride. It doesn't cost anything. It runs up and down 16th Street Mall, basically. No pets. Yes, bikes. And then that's going to take you all the way to Conifer and or Aspen Park. They're pretty much synonymous. Everybody just calls the area Conifer. And from there, you're gonna need a shuttler or probably an Uber. There's no other way. You're talking 15, 20 miles maybe
to get to
maybe at tops to get to the trailhead from there, but quite doable. The RTD again is $10.50, and that will take you all the way. So you get off, you get on the train, you've already paid for your train ticket, and this is a regional pass that you're buying, so it's going to take you all the way to Conifer. There's no need for any other tickets. It's seamless. You just need to make the connections. That's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. But like you're going to have to set up a ride from there with one of the Trail Angels, a CT Shuttler. I mean, people talk about hitching, and these are busy trailheads, these areas.
To get to two?
Yeah, to two. And, and you can reverse all of this, to and from DIA.
I think there are people that have taken Uber. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
we
there
saw
are
someone,
Ubers. Segment 2 is a very busy trailhead.
It is.
At the end of 1, the beginning of 2, you have a lot of families going down there to play in the water. You have a lot of day hikers. You have a lot of people that are fishing. There's a lot of people that just like to be outdoors, and that's a great area to access, like the Pike National Forest. There's just a lot down there. So there's a lot of options there. When it comes to Uber, sometimes they're kind of like, where are you going? I'm not familiar, so you might have to call until you find somebody that does. A CT Shuttler is going to be, they're going to know. If you're probably calling one in the Conifer area, they know exactly where to go.
Right.
We can touch on hitching. We're not fans of hitchhiking. Just a lot of weirdos in the world. I don't know. If you're traveling with a group of people, okay, you probably feel a little more comfortable about doing that. And these are really highly traveled areas, and most of these people are local, so maybe not such a bad thing if you're really adventurous. But, a single person traveling alone, you might feel a little nervous.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, getting to and from Segment 2, piece of cake, really. It just takes a little time and planning, and you can do it, no problem. Like you said, the bus tickets is seamless. You get on the train, Union Station, you look for the CV bus once you get to the Civic Center, and you get on that bus, and you're showing them the same pass that you already had for the train, so there's nothing else needed.
I think we saw a video of some hikers that came out to Colorado that started Segment 2. Mm-hmm. They took an Uber. I think it was the Shill Brothers.
Shill Brothers, yeah.
Right. They did. But I'm pretty sure they took an Uber to Segment 2, the beginning of 2.
From the airport?
I don't recall. I'd have to watch the video again. But
I can't imagine. That would be really expensive.
I don't know if it was from the airport, but from...
They probably got as far as they could. Maybe took the train downtown.
I'd have to go back and watch to see the beginning, but I could be wrong. I thought they took an Uber to the beginning, so they may have stayed somewhere overnight. It's possible.
All of this it's kind of personal. You can mix and match and do it any way you want, really. You could do part Uber, part CT Shuttler, part train, part bus. I mean, you just kind of mix and match and make it the way you want it.
I think the key is to understand all these different options, get the apps, study them, go to the websites, whatever, and study, and then you can figure out what will work for you and what combination you want. Maybe I'll do this to here.
And I'll throw it out there. If we're available, you can send us a message. we'll try to respond as quickly as possible. If you're out here and you're, confused or stuck or don't really remember all your options, drop us a line real quick. We'll try to find a ride for you or an option for you that will work for your situation. But it's just knowing all those options before you get out here, having a good solid plan, and then when you get out here, go. Enjoy. You've already done your homework. Okay, so we've kind of covered segment 1. Segment 2, now you get, let's say you want to just go to segment 3, or, like we kind of said before, these are all reversible. Say you hiked segment 1 and 2 and you got to leave, you got to go home, you're not feeling it, whatever. All of this is all reversible, so, this is all about to and from the Colorado Trail. Segment 3, here we are, we're in Conifer again, so it's kind of like segment 2. You're going to want to take the A-Line train to Union Station, and you're going to want to look for the free mall ride, and then get over to Civic Center Station and look for the CV bus. That will take you to Conifer Aspen Park area, and from there you're going to want to look for a shuttler, Uber, whatever. But there is also one other option here. We're talking about the Bustang now. The Bustang is a large coach bus, and these run all over the mountain towns. It's a really awesome service. So the Bustang, you're going to take the A-Line from downtown to Union Station, and from there you're going to just look for the Bustang platform, which is all right there at Union Station. You come off the train and you actually go down below the trains into an underground garage kind of area where all the buses are now. And the Bustang's going to be in that area, and the Bustang runs to all kinds of little mountain towns. So you're looking to get off at Pine Junction, and the feasible thing here is this is only $6. So you've got your $11 train ride and now a $6 bus ride, which is really feasible, especially with the gas prices the way they are now. And this is a comfortable bus. This is a big, giant, Greyhound-sized bus, air-conditioned. You can put all your gear underneath. It's going to be a nice ride. And that's going to take you to Pine Junction. And when you get off there, again, here we are. We need to find another ride. So you're looking at Uber, which at this point is becoming less now because you're getting up into the mountains further.
Yeah, it'll be harder to find.
So now we're really kind of leaning towards getting a CT shuttler. And yes, you still can hitch, because this is a really popular area for hikers and bikers and people that just want to be outdoors, So they're all kind of going in the same direction you are, looking for that trailhead. So, not a bad deal. I'd still stick with a CT shuttler.
Yeah, I would as much as possible.
Absolutely. Sure. But, this is still doable and all reversible. You get to segment 3 after 1 and 2, after segment 3, whatever, I've had enough, I want to go home.
And something, people have posted about this, if you're at a trailhead, there are a lot of day hikers.
Yeah.
And you can sort of befriend a day hiker.
Sure.
And say, is it possible I get a ride?
Are you going back up to Pine Junction? Are you going to Aspen? Are you going to Denver? Who knows?
Right. So it feels a little more comfortable talking to a day hiker.
And most people are out there for the same reason you are. So these are people that are like-minded and more than willing to give you a ride. And by all means, give them a little gas money.
Right. Yeah.
It's just now with the prices the way they are, shoot.
Yeah.
But again, like we said with like RTD, there is an app for the Bustang service. Get the app on your phone. Have that app. You know when the rides are coming. You know where the ride is. You know exactly what your price is for where your stop is.
Yeah.
It's all done on your phone. Done. Nothing else needed. It's so simple. It's so easy. And you take care of your train ride, you take care of your bus ride, you get on, you're heading for the mountains, you're on the Colorado Trail, you're gone. Just do everything prior, do your homework, and it really, it becomes a nice, seamless experience. So where are we now? We're moving to segment 4. Like segment 3, it's kind of the same. You know, you're getting off the plane, you're getting to the train, you're getting to Union Station, and now we're kind of moving beyond the Conifer Aspen Park area.
Yeah.
You still can, and you could still get that ride from a CT shuttler, but you know, you're kind of getting them to drive even further at this point. Now we're kind of sticking with just taking the Bustang like you did on segment 3. You're getting off the train, you're going underneath down to where all the buses are, you're getting on the I think it's the West Line is what they call this one. It runs all the way to Grand Junction, makes stops along the way. But you know, so now you're getting off the train, you're getting onto the Bustang, you have your app, you've already paid for your ticket, it's only $6. You know, your gear goes underneath, you can have a bike if you want it, again, no pets. But you're going to get to Pine Junction, it's going to cost you another $6, so, you know, we're looking at $17 so far. You know, to go from the airport to pretty far, you know, about an hour west of Denver at this point. So, you know, you're getting pretty far for a little money. And not that hard to do either. You know, you took one train and you connected to one bus. That's it. That's simple. You know, the only easier option there is to get a ride direct from the airport straight to the trailhead. But you know, these are options.
But 4 is down a dirt road. It's
once you get off the bus at Pine Junction, you're going to be on pavement for a little while, and then you're going to be I believe it is dirt road.
I can't remember the distance. It's dirt road, but I can't remember the distance.
Yeah, see, you're kind of in the Bailey area, but there's no public transportation in the Bailey area. You're going to have your CT shuttlers in the Bailey area. You're going to have hostels in the Bailey area.
Something to think about.
There's a post office there. There's some services. It's a really small mountain town.
But again, here's my. I can't recall. It's been cell service can be a little wonky.
Cell service can be wonky in that area, so you're going to want to plan ahead and tell people what you are doing. And if you're taking the bus, you know, it's a scheduled service, so you're going to know the time.
Right, yeah.
So, you know, you get on the bus and say, hey, I'm leaving Denver Union Station on the bus now, and the schedule says it gets to Pine Junction at this time, so, you know, give or take a few minutes. But, yeah, they're going to probably, you know, drive a couple of different routes to get you there, but you are going to be on a dirt road at some point, so... You know, these areas are better left up to CT shuttlers that know the area, that know the roads, that know the conditions, and are very familiar with them. But also, again, this is a very popular trailhead. It's a smaller trailhead, but it's a very popular trailhead with hikers, bikers, day hikers, you know, people that are section hiking. So there are options. I would say if you're reversing course and wanting to get back to the airport, you could probably get a ride from the trailhead, you know, say to Conifer or Pine Junction area to get the bus back to the airport. But getting to the trailhead, I would probably lean towards a CT shuttler at this point. But again, you know, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Have those apps on your phone, do your homework. Call everything ahead of time, line everything up, seamless. Pretty darn easy to get there. So now we're on to segment 5, which is going to be a little more remote this time.
Yeah, that one's difficult.
Of all these first 5 segments, this is the tougher one. Again, you're going to take the train to Union Station, you're going to take the Bustang to Pine Junction, and then you've got a little bit of a drive. It's not bad, but you're going to rely on a local person at this point because these roads are kind of rough, doable in most cars, but this is definitely going to be a rougher, more remote travel for your CT shuttler. That would be how we would lean on this one. Once you get to Pine Junction, you take the train, you take the Bustang, Pine Junction, get off, and have a CT shuttler set up. The other option here is to continue on with the Bustang to Fairplay, and you've actually gone beyond Kenosha Pass in the beginning of segment 6, but you're having to backtrack on some of these little mountain roads. You know, if you look on a map, you could probably figure it out, but it's just kind of the only option in that area is to use these Forest Service roads, and a CT shuttler would certainly understand and know the area. So your option there is Pine Junction on the Bustang or Fairplay on the Bustang, which is pretty simple to do, but now, you know, rely on a CT shuttler to get you to the trailhead.
Probably it's more difficult. It's probably
Definitely. It's really remote, you know. There is a trailhead, but you don't really feel like there's a trailhead. It's just kind of a transition on trail. You're hiking along in the woods, and there's kind of the open meadow and whatnot, and you don't really feel like you've gotten to an actual parking lot with a trailhead or anything like that. It's just, you know, you're going from here to there, and nothing really changes. It doesn't feel like that anyway. But you know, there are some people out there. I know the one year, you know, we were out there hiking through there, and there was some people with some vehicles. You don't really see where the vehicles are parked, where you're camping per se, but it's kind of nearby, and they were supporting a FKT, fastest known time person, trying to do the Colorado Trail as quickly as possible. So we know you can get there in a vehicle for sure, but it's a little more remote, you know, a little more difficult. You're definitely relying on a CT shuttler at this point. You know, there is another option here. You can fly into the airport, and now you can take, I think it's a different bus. You want to go to Frisco and Breckenridge.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And that, again, that's going to be Bustang, but it's a different route altogether. I'll have the links to all these things. I think maybe the other one that we've been mentioning before is not the West Line. This is going to be the West Line Bustang that goes all the way to Grand Junction. The other Bustang that we were referring to, I believe that's actually the Crested Butte Bustang.
Is it? I don't yet.
But when you go on there to buy your ticket, it's very obvious what you're doing, and you'll get on the right one. It's not a problem. But this one is the West Line, so you're going to take the train from the airport to Union Station and take the Bustang to Frisco, and they also have that Pegasus. That's the one we were talking about earlier as well. That's a new service. It's very limited days. It's almost like it's weekends or something.
Oh, okay. Busier times, yeah.
But it's another alternative, and you know, once you're in the Frisco area, there's free bus service in that area that can take you down to Fairplay. That might be the one bus where there's an additional fee once you get into Park County, but it's minimal. It's like $2, I believe. But during COVID, they suspended all of that, so I'm not 100% sure if they still have that $2 fee in there or not. Last I heard, no. But just be aware there could be a $2 fee on the free bus service from Breckenridge. I think in the notes here, I think that's called the Park County Commuter. And the bus, once it gets to Frisco, you're in a big hub. It's like a big outdoor parking lot almost. I remember when we were there, it felt kind of interesting because you're just big and out in the open. It's not like you're in a major city now with, you know, big Union stations or anything. You're just kind of out in the open. There's plenty of signage. It shows you where all the buses are and all the timetables. But if you have that app, bingo. Even the Park County Commuter, the Summit Stage Bus, all those air buses run in the Frisco, Copper Mountain, Breckenridge, Silverthorne, all those little towns in that area, and it's all free. It doesn't cost you a thing. There's plenty of hostels and hotels and restaurants. REI is up there, and a few other outfitters. So if you get to the Frisco area, you're going to have plenty of options as well. But again, the Park County Commuter and Summit Stage Bus, get those apps, put them on your phone. These are free services. And like the other services, they tell you where the bus is, when the bus will get there, and they're really accurate. We
use them a bit.
We use them quite a bit, and we had great luck with them. Great service. You can take a bike, you can have your pack, and as far as I remember, the Summit Stage does allow pets.
Oh, I don't know.
So you can take your dog. From what we remember, now things can change. So if you're traveling with a dog, you're going to need to find that out for yourself. But that's a second option to get down into the Fairplay area. But, you know, again, you're talking $11 for the train ride. I think the service, Bustang Outrider service, is probably going to be $13 or $14.
Okay,
From Union Station, and then a possible $2, give or take.
But it's all reasonable, you know, comparing.
But it's all very reasonable.
Right. Trying to do Uber
and
or some other.
I could have the Bustang routes backwards in my head. I'll definitely have all the links in the bottom here, and if you go on the blog, it's all linked as well. But you know, it is the Bustang service. We know that. As far as which one it was. It's either the Crested Butte or the West Line. You know, they're real easy to understand once you're on the website. You can buy your ticket on there. You have it on your phone. It's just so simple. All these options are easy.
I think the point is there's options if you just know where to look.
Yeah.
And that's the battle most times is knowing where to look.
So, all right, that's a wrap. That's segments 1 through 5. The air conditioning's coming on.
It's getting hot.
So I guess that tells us it's time for us to go inside and enjoy that air conditioning, because we're looking at close to 100 degrees today.
No, I thought it was like 90. Oh, it's going to be 100.
90 something, 100 give or take, you know.
Hey, I was looking forward to 90.
Is that kind of like me saying we're almost there?
Yeah.
It's just a 1,000-foot climb.
No, 90 is different than 100.
We're
almost there, and 1,000-foot climb is different.
We're almost there. It's just a few more miles.
Yeah, almost there's a mile. It's not
okay.
5 miles, 1,000-foot gain.
Anyway, if you have any questions, let us know.
Okay.
We can help you. We can get you there. If you get confused, just say, hey, you're confusing me. I confuse myself. I confuse you.
Most times, yeah.
But let us know. We can spell it out and make it a little easier for you. I know this is kind of brief and just a general overview. We just want to let you know there are lots of options out there. You can get to the mountains with just a little extra effort and a little creativity without a whole lot of money. From here, we'll continue on to do the next couple of segments, and once we wrap up the whole Colorado Trail, we're going to start showing you a whole lot of other trails you can get to in Colorado with the same creativity and little to no money, and staying away from very popular trailheads and trying to park or find your way there, because in Colorado it's all about keeping people happy, keeping you on the trail, and keeping things simple. You know, a lot of these counties have created a lot of free bus services, and some of the, like the Bustang, that's kind of inexpensive.
Right, it is.
But there are a lot of free services out there that are going to keep us all on the trail and happy. So let us know if you have questions or you have comments, or if you know of any other services that we didn't cover. We'd love to hear about it.
That's a big one, if you know of anything.
Yeah, let us know. We can share that, and we always are looking for something more creative.
Right.
You know, especially with the gas prices the way they're going. I'm looking to ditch our car unless we really need it.
Right, to not take it out, yeah.
So, all right, we'll see you out there.